Hey y'all. I'm just popping in to do a quick flip through of the layouts that I made in March 2022. I can't believe that month is already over. It's getting to be the part of the year when we get super busy, and so I feel like I don't have a ton to share with you right now, but I'm trying to work it in, get it in. So I did, we took a little trip on spring break to North Carolina, and I decided to try something new. So I'm doing a Simple Stories flip book. And so it's a 6x8. And so I made this little cover for it, and I'm using Wild Whisper stuff on the front, as well as an old gel print that I had made. I am using washi on the spine. I'm gonna have to go back through and stick it down better. But anyway, so I just have a few pages done in this, but I'll show you what I have so far. So I stuck a little pocket in the front. This is like a little piece from, I'm gonna have to stick that down better as well. But this is a little piece of acetate from Paper House Productions, and I used another bit from that gel press, and I just made a little pocket. I'm gonna put like little maps and stuff in there. And I have a fun little like entrance page. I did some of my favorite little rub-ons from 49 Market, and I did a vellum sheet. And then, so I'm not a big fan of, what do you call it, post-bound albums. I do not use them anymore, and I'm hopefully planning to transition all of my old post-bound albums to D-rings eventually. And but this is kind of a post-bound album, but I am okay with it for like a mini album and like a very finite small trip. So this was a quick trip, and so I'm hoping to get this album done fairly quickly, and so I'm okay with them for that reason. And Jessica from A Cherry on Top did a really fabulous video of how once I get a few more pages into this, it'll be kind of chunky and it'll be like all lifted up on this side. So she gave a really great tutorial of how to like even the pages out, and I have things on order to do that. So because I do love a good chunky mini album. So there is the entrance picture that you can kind of see through the first, and these are Heidi Swapp stamps. Bucket checklist, we said rocks and gems, snowy mountains, a bear, a fire, flora, fauna, hiking boots, waterfall, geocache, local eats. And now that I see that it says local eats, it looks like it says low-cal eats, and I am definitely not looking for low-calorie eats on our trips. And Bigfoot. The places we went, there's a lot of Bigfoot stuff. So we woke up on the first day of spring break, and it was snowy in our part of the world, which is very unusual. So I had to journal a little bit about that. And we stayed in this cute little cabin. It was called the Kibben. And so there are some photos. Sorry. That's what happens when I move things from my chair to sit down to do a video. And kind of talking about how the day before our cabin canceled on us and we had to find one at the last minute. But I actually think this ended up being even better. So with these flip books, I thought that I was going to be able to use all of the stash of 6x8 page protectors that I have. But just FYI, there is a gutter on these because they're in this little like thing. They have this extra gutter to let it stick out far enough. So I could not use all of those. So I did use one for this because I knew I was going to cut it down. So I sewed a gutter to be the same length so it would stick out like these other pages. So you could do that. So you could use like your 6x8 regular page protector if you're going to cut it down and like sew a gutter into it. But otherwise you have to buy the specific flip book page protectors to make sure that they stick out beyond the binding, if that makes sense. And then there's some pages I haven't done yet. And a full-size photo of a waterfall we visited. Like, I'm in such a mess. And then I made this the other day for Technique Tuesday. We were talking about using metallics. And so I have metallic foil there and metallic heat embossing here, metallic glitter, there's metallic there. Lots of fun metallics. That's almost going to be some of the end pages of my layouts of this album because that was like the last day. But anyway, I made that in March. I'm going to add to that and get those spring break photos scrapbooked. So I also made this Harry Potter page with the, I think, memory Sorry, I'm not sure. I kept calling it Asuka, and that was the name of it, but it was also called Memory something. These Harry Potter ephemeras, but I don't think they have those in the store anymore. But I made this Harry Potter theme page with this gorgeous ephemera and the Heidi Swap storyteller grid. We talked about finishing the 4th book and watching the movie. This is the new Prima Painted Floral, I think is what it's called. And I created a layout with this for a cherry on top, playground legends, just pictures of my boys on the playground. This is a Paige Evans cut file and lots of 49 Market rub-ons. This was for Color First with Sarah Scraps, and I picked the mood board this month, and it was all these pretty colors. So I did kind of like some ink blending, which is not something I typically do, and had a lot of fun creating this fun summary page of my little guy. Excuse me. Here he is again. I documented him on his 100th day of kindergarten. He dressed up like an old man. I used a lot of the old school means like last year, Simple Stories Bro & Co. Oh, and I did a matching pocket page with that. I always intend to do pocket pages to add all the photos in, and I'm so bad about like actually following through and doing them because they just don't inspire me as much. Like I love adding them into my page, but like creating them isn't my most loved activity, but that's okay. Like I did it on the other side of a pocket page that I already did too. So I'm like heading toward a completed album. So this was probably my page that I was most proud of in March. It was inspired by the Scrap Gals and a life story. Sorry, I think I swallowed a bug. But I printed out a map of our hometown, and I did kind of like plotting of where we go and do all the things we do around our hometown. And then I talked about the boom and how everything is blowing up around home, and the pros and the cons of it, the things I love and the things I hate. So I'm super happy that I got this page done and documented, and I love the way it looks. So I'm pretty proud of this one. And then also this was like the first page I think of the month, but I did this for the Rainbow blog hop at the beginning of the month of March with a cherry on top. And it says stay positive, test negative, and talks about how our family was all vaccinated and we finally like got to be together after a very long time of not being together. So I had a lot of fun creating this page and this background with like Distress Oxide inks and some Catherine Pooler inks I think as well, and making them into watercolors. That was super fun. So let me know if you have any questions. You can find videos for almost all of these layouts if you just scroll a little bit back in my channel and see how I created them. So thank you guys for watching. Bye y'all.